Today's lesson is multiplying fractions. You can find this on page 44 in your notebook. The steps to multiplying fractions are the numerator times the numerator, or top times top, and denominator times denominator, bottom times bottom, and then just make sure your answer is simplified. If you end up with an improper fraction, you always want to change that to a mixed number in simplest form. I want to show you a little trick that I like to do with some of the examples of making the fraction smaller before you do top times top, bottom times bottom. So let's take a look at a couple examples here. Let's start with example 2, because this one's got a little bit smaller numbers. So the rules are top times top, bottom times bottom. So I take 1 times 2 and I get 2, and 3 times 4 is 12. Now all I have to do is reduce that. So I want to come up with the biggest number I can think of to go in both, which is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Simple as that. That is it. That is how you do it. Top times top, bottom times bottom. But now let's take a look at example 1. These numbers are a lot bigger. So to do 14 times 5, you would have to come off to the side and do that. And 15 times 7. You can do this in your head a little bit faster. You could do it that way and then try to reduce, no problem, but then you're going to end up with really big numbers to have to reduce at the end as well. So you can see here that I can look at these two numbers, 14 and 7. I can divide both of those. I can simplify both of those by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And 7 divided by 7 is 1. So now instead of 14 fifteenths, I have 2 fifteenths and 5 over 1. So you want to make sure that you cross off what you did and put your number pretty big there so that you don't accidentally use one of those again. Now let's look this way. So I like to say, like, you're going to look this way, and then you're going to look this way, and then you can kind of cross the street, go top times top, bottom times bottom. So you want to divide both of these. What can go into 5 and 15? Well, 5 can. I'm going to simplify these. So I end up with 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So now I have 2/3 times 1 over 1. Wow, that's way easier numbers to multiply by. So now I do my rules. Top times top, or numerator times numerator, and which is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, over bottom times bottom, denominator times denominator, 3 times 1 is 3. That is a way faster way of getting there. Got to do a little work inside the problem before you can cross the street, but it helps. All right, let's try this one. I could do 42 over 80, and then I would have to simplify that. Those are pretty big numbers to simplify, but that totally works. You can do that. Divide those, or you could try to cross simplify. So look at your 6 and your 8, or look at you can even reduce the 6 and the 10. I like to go across first. So divide these by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Can I simplify 7 and 10? No. I've gone this way. I've looked this way. I've looked this way. Now I can cross the street. I can go straight across. You can't always simplify. So now I have 3/10 times 7 over 4. The rules are top times top, bottom times bottom. 3 times 7 is 21. 10 times 4 is 40. Okay? You have to always check, though, to make sure that's in simplest form. So what can go into 21? 3, 7, and none of those, 21 and 1, none of those can go into 40. So that's your simplest form. That's your final answer. All right, let's see if we have time for one more here. Ooh, these are nice because when the numbers are across from each other that are the same, you can just divide them by themselves. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. I can't simplify 5 and 7. It's 5 and 7. Those are already in simplest form. So I've checked both ways. I've checked this way. I've checked this way. Now I can cross the street. Top times top is 5. Bottom times bottom is 7. Done. That's faster than getting 30 over 42 and having to try to reduce that. It's just a little bit easier. You could do it that way. You could do 30 over 42 and then reduce. So go ahead and try some on your own.